I'm about to turn 35, which means I've been investing for over a decade. In that time, I've learned a lot of lessons, and in this video, I want to share with you as many of them as I can. I'm James, a financial educator from moneystocker.com, and these are my rules for investing in your 20s, your 30s, and what I'll be doing in my 40s and beyond. Before we dive in, understand this. You're not racing anyone. We're all on different timelines. You might be in your 40s and only just getting started, and that's completely fine. I know people in their 50s who are beginning their investing journey now. So if I'm talking about investing in your 20s and you feel like you've missed the boat, you haven't. These are just frameworks. Use what fits, skip what doesn't. In fact, let's start with the core principles. These are my 6 universal rules that apply at any age. The first rule is start as early as you can. That means whatever age you are right now is the best time to start. The one thing you can never get back when it comes to investing is time. Because of something called compounding, where your money earns money and then that money earns more money, the earlier you start, the less you need to invest overall. A quick example using InvestEngine's regular investing calculator. Invest £100 a month from age 25 to 55 and you could end up with around £118,000. That's given a 7% historical average return. It's not guaranteed, it's just an estimate. Now, if you started 10 years later at 35, you would only end up with about £51,000. Same monthly investment, less than half the money, just because you started later. So even if all you can spare right now is £50 a month, it's worth it. It builds the habit and gets the snowball rolling. The second rule, invest regularly. Don't wait for the right moment to invest. You'll either forget, procrastinate, or panic when the market drops. Instead, automate it. Set up a regular investment plan like the ones you can create with InvestEngine. The savings plan feature lets you invest a fixed amount each month into your chosen portfolio without having to think about it. You can link it to your ISA and have the money go in automatically, just like a direct debit. It removes the emotion, builds the habit, and keeps you consistent even when markets wobble. This is called pound cost averaging. You buy more shares when prices are low and fewer when they're high. It smooths out the ride and keeps you consistent. The third rule is to use tax wrappers. The UK gives us some incredibly generous investment accounts. Don't ignore them. The Stocks and Shares ISA allows you to invest £20,000 a year. There's no capital gains tax, no dividend tax. Everything grows tax-free, and you can withdraw it at any time tax-free. Your workplace pension. If you're employed, make sure you're enrolled and getting the full employer match. That's literally free money. Plus, you can get tax relief. £100 in your pension only costs you £80 if you're a basic rate taxpayer. Alternatively, open a SIP, a self-invested personal pension. These are great if you're self-employed or want more control. You still get great tax relief and investments grow tax-free inside of it. I have my SIP with InvestEngine. The Lifetime ISA. If you're under 40, you can get a 25% government bonus for retirement or for your first home. Put in £4,000 and the government gives you £1,000 every year. Worth considering, check the restrictions around it though. Using these accounts, you can save tens of thousands over your lifetime. Before you invest outside of them, max these out first. The fourth rule is know your goals. You don't need a spreadsheet or a 5-point plan, but you do need to know what you're aiming for. Are you investing for retirement, a house, general freedom? Your timeline and your goals will guide you on how much risk you take. Do you have a short-term goal like buying a house in 3 years? You might not want that money in the stock market at all. Do you have a long-term goal like retiring in 30 years? You've got time to ride out the bumps, the ups and downs in the stock market. Which brings me to the fifth rule, understand your risk appetite. This isn't about being a daredevil, it's about knowing yourself. How would you feel if your portfolio dropped 30% tomorrow? Would you freak out and sell everything, or would you keep calm and keep investing? Because here's the truth, markets go up and down. Crashes are normal, recoveries are too. The more risk you take, the more your portfolio will swing, but also the more it might grow over the long run. So it's about balance, enough risk to grow your money, not so much that you panic sell and bail when things get rough. And finally, build a safety net first. Before you throw all your money into the stock market, make sure you've got 3 to 6 months of expenses saved in cash. This is your buffer. It means that if your boiler breaks or you lose your job, you're not forced to sell your investments at the worst possible time. Clear your high interest debt too, as this will often give you a better return on your money than investing. This is your foundation. Once you've got this sorted, you can invest with confidence. Now we're going to cover investing in your 20s. This is the decade where you build the habit, not the wealth. Your 20s are weird financially. You've got your whole life ahead of you, but barely anything in your bank account. After rent, travel, saving for a house deposit, investing often falls to the bottom of the list. So let me be clear, you're not trying to build wealth in your 20s. You're trying to build the habits that make wealth almost inevitable in your future. Even if you're only investing £50 a month, that's a win. Because what matters most now is getting used to it. You're building the mental muscle of paying yourself first, of sticking with it when it's boring, of investing when the market is down, and crucially, ignoring the hype of things like NFTs and meme coins. Real investing is boring, it's slow, it's consistent. And that's why most people in their 20s quit too soon, because at the beginning, your returns don't feel exciting. You might make £30 in a year, and when life is expensive, that can feel like a waste of time. But what you're doing is laying down the track. You're making investing part of your routine, so when you're earning more in your 30s, you don't have to think about it. You just increase the amount of your monthly investment and carry on. Let's talk about risk. When you're young, you've got time on your side, so you can afford to take more risk. That might mean you can build a portfolio made up entirely of stocks, maybe a single global ETF. It will go up and down, sometimes sharply, but you've got decades to recover. But, and this is important, risk tolerance isn't just about numbers, it's about emotions. If the market crashes tomorrow and your portfolio drops 30%, how will you feel? If the answer is absolutely awful, then maybe dial it down. There's no one size fits all. You want a level of risk that lets you sleep at night and stick to your plan when things get rocky. Speaking of rocky, let's talk about your first market crash. It'll probably happen in your 20s, and it will suck. You'll log into your account and you'll see your money is worth a lot less than it was last month. Your stomach will drop, you'll think, should I pull it all out before it gets worse? But here's what experienced investors know. This is normal. Markets go up and down all the time. What matters is how you respond. The worst thing you can do is panic sell. The best thing, keep going. Keep investing. You're buying at lower prices, which helps you in the long run. Use your 20s to form good investing habits that will last a lifetime. Now, in your 30s, this is where I am, and frankly, it's a decade where things start to get real. By your 30s, life often shifts gears. You might be earning more, you might be buying a home, getting married, having kids, or all three at once, and suddenly the simplicity of investing in your 20s gets replaced with a whole lot of competing priorities. So if you're finding it hard to stay consistent, or even harder to start, that's normal. I struggle with it every day, but here's the rule I try and follow in my 30s. As your income grows, your investing should grow too. When you get a raise or a bonus, it's tempting to immediately upgrade your life. A new car, a bigger place, nicer holidays, and that's fine. Enjoy yourself. But try this. Take just a chunk of that pay rise, say 50%, and increase your investment contributions before you even notice the money's there. This one rule has probably made the biggest difference to my own portfolio in the last few years. Because once investing is automated, you barely feel the difference, but your future self absolutely will. Now let's talk strategy. Your 30s is a good time to start investing with more intention. You're no longer just building a pot of money for the future. You're now juggling multiple financial goals, each with different timelines and risk levels. Let's say you've got 4 goals: a house deposit in 5 years, helping your children through university in 10 to 15 years, early retirement in 20 years, and a comfortable retirement after that. Those aren't all treated the same. For the short-term stuff like a house, you don't want to be in stocks at all. A standard savings account would do. For medium-term goals like school fees, you might use a balanced approach. Some equities, some bonds, enough growth to beat inflation, but not so volatile that a crash derails everything. A junior ISA might be the best account here. For early retirement, your stocks and shares ISA might be your long-term freedom fund. And for retirement, that's still a long way off, so you can keep investing aggressively in stocks if that fits your risk appetite, all within a SIP or a workplace pension. You're going to need to get comfortable juggling all these different types of accounts and competing financial goals. What's more, in your 30s, you really want to start thinking about maximizing your tax wrappers, because this is the decade where you want to be a bit more intentional. In your 20s, it was a win just to open a stocks and shares ISA. In your 30s, the goal is to try and fill more of that £20,000 allowance each year, or at least try and work towards it. The same goes for your pension. A lot of people are on auto-enrollment at work and they don't even realize they're only contributing the minimum. But the minimum probably won't get you a comfortable retirement. Experts suggest aiming for 12 to 15% of your salary, including your employer match. So check in. What are you putting in now? Can you increase it even by 1% this year? And finally, let's talk mindset. In your 30s, your portfolio might be reaching the point where the numbers start to look meaningful. The compounding might be kicking in, and your portfolio might be rising, which can be hugely motivational. But you might feel more attached to your investments, which means it gets emotionally harder to ignore. In other words, when the market drops, it hits harder. But the rule doesn't change. Don't mess with your plan based on headlines. Stick to your asset allocation. Some assets may grow faster than others, your portfolio can drift. Rebalance once a year if needed and carry on. Because you're still in growth mode, even though you're juggling a lot, your 30s are a massive opportunity decade. It's the decade where early investing habits start to pay off and where consistent contributions can really move the needle. Keep showing up, keep investing, your 40s will thank you. And that takes us to investing in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. This is the era where you either catch up or start slowing down with intention. By the time you're in your 40s or 50s, your financial life is clearer and you're a little more serious. You've probably got a better sense of what you want from life. You might be earning more than ever, but you might also feel that pressure. Have I done enough? Am I on track for retirement? Broadly speaking, you're in one of two camps, so let's break it down. If you've been investing consistently, great, you're in consolidation mode now. That means reviewing where your money is, making sure it's still aligned with your goals, and gradually reducing risk, but not too soon. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you need to go all in on bonds or cash. If retirement is still 10 to 20 years away, you still need your money to grow. But your portfolio can start shifting. You might begin moving from 80% equities to 60 to 70%, slowly increasing your exposure to lower volatility assets like bonds, multi-asset funds, or even income-focused ETFs. Think of it as like building a softer landing. Now on the flip side, if you're only just starting to invest in your 40s or 50s, firstly, you're not alone and you're definitely not too late. You might not have the 30-year runway that someone in their 20s has, but what you do have, hopefully, is a wealth of knowledge and a higher earning power and potentially fewer financial distractions. This is the time to go all in on consistency and contribution size. Again, make use of InvestEngine's regular investing calculator to model what's possible. Maybe you need to invest £500 a month or £1,000 a month to catch up. That number might feel big, but at this stage, you'll hopefully have a bigger income to support it. If not, invest just as much as you can. Make sure you're making full use of your pension allowance, especially if you're a higher rate taxpayer. The tax relief at this stage is powerful. You can also benefit from carry forward rules. If you didn't use your full pension allowance in the last 3 tax years, you might be able to top it up now. In short, use every tax advantage you can to catch up. Use this time to consolidate old pension pots too. If you've worked for multiple companies, you've probably got a few scattered accounts. Find them, bring them together, get everything working in one direction. And don't forget your ISA. Your pension is brilliant for retirement, but your ISA gives you flexibility. You can withdraw money tax-free at any time, so in your 50s and beyond, it can be a brilliant tool for bridging the gap between early retirement and pension age. That's exactly how I'm planning to use my ISA in that decade. And don't forget, if you're married, you've effectively got 2 allowances, 20k each. So together, that's 40k a year sheltered from tax. You'll also want to start planning your drawdown strategy. As you approach retirement, the question shifts from how much can I save to how do I use this money without running out? You'll want to plan your withdrawals tax efficiently. For example, take just enough from your pension to stay within your basic rate income tax band, supplement that with ISA withdrawals which are tax-free, and keep an eye on your state pension forecast. That'll kick in around 67, but the amount depends on your national insurance record. The goal is to blend these income sources in a way that gives you freedom and keeps your tax bill low. Consult a financial planner if you need help mapping all of this out. You can see how in your 40s and 50s, you're not done, you're just shifting gears. You're moving from build mode to protect and prepare. And the work you can do in this chapter sets the tone for hopefully a long and financially comfortable retirement. So whether you're in your 20s, your 30s or 40s, the rules are simple. Start as early as you can. Invest regularly, even if it's a small amount. Use your ISA and pension allowances. Adjust your risk level as you get older, but don't get scared out of the market too soon. And most importantly, stay consistent. This isn't about being perfect, it's just about showing up. Month after month, year after year. If you're not sure how much to invest or what's realistic for your age and your goals, try out InvestEngine's regular investing calculator. It's free and it gives you a clear picture of what's possible. And if this video helped you, give it a like, drop a comment with where you're at in your investing journey, and subscribe for more simple UK-based investing content. I'm James from moneystalker.com. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.